Okay, so we are meeting today. We're going to take it outside a little bit, and I'm just getting everything set up. I'm going to put my email in the chat. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and reach me that way. Really excited to work with you today. Miriam at restoremotion.com. Good. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email or put the question in the chat. So today I am working on a surprise for next week for you all. So I had to bring my studio outside, and it's a lovely day, and hopefully you can hear me and everything. This is first week back to work for some of you. I'm sure that's interesting. Put my phone in my pocket. And I'm glad that you're back and want to support Tuesday, first week back. And let's go ahead and see what we can do. I'm sitting on the floor. We're going to do some things with the feet today so that you can get ready for wearing flip-flops and being outside a little bit more. So if you can, go ahead and have a seat on the floor. If you can't, go ahead and sit on the chair behind you. And I'm just going to have you practice bringing your feet back towards your knee, and then point the ankle and the toes away from you. We're just going to do that a couple of times. Going to come back up, really stretch. You feel the back of the leg stretch there, and then push down. I'm going through the ankle and then through my toes, so I'm getting the whole foot. And I feel a stretch on the top of my leg. Let's do that one more time. So come back, feel a stretch in the back of the leg. And now when you point down, make sure you're keeping your feet straight so you're not letting them wing in or wing out a little bit. You want to think of the second toe being in line with your shin bone here so that your foot's straight on your body. All right, so from there, let's go ahead and come into a butterfly position. And again, if you're having difficulty with sitting on the floor, you're welcome to sit on a chair and just bring one leg up for that butterfly position. So come on down, we're going to do butterfly position. And I'm thinking of bringing my heels close to my pelvis, keeping a straight back. So the difference between this and 7th grade gym class is that I'm trying to keep my spine straight in the back as opposed to curling. So you want to come up nice and tall and just open those hips up a little bit. You've been possibly either at home or in the office sitting at a desk, and it's time to get those hips to move a different way. So coming up nice and tall, creating space between your rib cage and your pelvis. Shoulders are down, neck is soft. Gonna come forward, do a little stretch there, and you should feel a stretch in your inner thigh. This is too intense. Go ahead and put your hands behind you and just let your legs come out. One leg is having a hard time, just let the one leg come out so that you don't have to do both at the same time. So let's do that variation for folks that are having trouble with that. So now I'm letting the other leg come down. So I'm doing a little stretch there and then come back and then another stretch. I haven't forgotten about those feet. And last time on this leg, let it open up. You should feel kind of an opening in this area, this crease between your body and your leg. Good, and then come back. Now we're gonna try a different stretch. You're gonna take your legs wide apart and try to have one leg come in. So instead of stretching the back of the buttock, you're stretching kind of more in through here and deep inside the pelvis. So trying to let that leg come in. And then switch to the other side. So we're stretching some of the muscles that externally rotate the leg, and we're stretching them by bringing the leg into internal rotation. If your hands are tired, you could do this lying on your back. So in this position, it's a little bit like windshield wipers coming in, one leg and then the other. And just feel a little bit of a stretch. If you want to intensify the stretch, you can take your other foot and gently rest it on top of that knee, and then the weight of that leg pulls the hip over. So again, it's only okay if it's comfortable for you. We're just doing another little hip stretch. We're going to get back to those feet. And then uncross that leg. Come on back up to the middle. And then cross the second leg rather. Get a little bit of a stretch there. And then you can take the second leg and come on over and give just a little bit more overpressure with the weight of this top leg. The ankle's resting on the knee. Get a little bit further and then come on back up. All right, so I'm going to come back up and let's talk about the feet. I was having a nice email conversation with somebody out there in Bico land who was saying that she had some foot weakness. And there's a lot of different exercises you can do for your feet, but the first one we want to look at is just stretching, because a lot of times with the feet in shoes, they get compressed. So I want to have you think of one foot, and again, you could do this sitting on a chair. I'm just sitting on the floor so I can use my hands to illustrate what we do with the feet. I'm taking my hand and I'm trying to spread my toes out as much as possible with the foot on the floor. And really feel that you can put weight on the great toe, the joint of the big toe here, or the root of the big toe, as they say in yoga. And then the pinky toe. You want to feel the big toe and the pinky toe on the floor at the same time. And then you also want to feel the heel. And notice that you've got a little bit of an arch this way. That's the longitudinal arch. And with those toes spread out, I want you to think of making a little home here for a little bug or a pea or something like that. And you're not moving your calf muscle. You just want to use your foot muscle and lift that arch up. So there it's lifted and now it's relaxed. So with my hand, it's like I'm doing this with my hand. So using my hand, keeping my toes and my fingers soft, I'm just using the muscles inside the sole of the foot or inside the palm of the hand to lift up. That's using your lumbrical muscles. And this is it in the hand, that's the lumbrical grip. And now here it is in your toes. So sometimes you have to hold on to the toes if they're not used to being soft. A lot of times people do this, so they're crunching their whole foot. And that's a different exercise. I'm really after just raising the arch. So toes are soft and you're gonna lift just the arch. You can barely see it and then it comes down. Let's do that 2 more times. So toes are down. You can use your hand or you can use your other foot to keep those toes from getting into the act and lift the arch. There it's lifted and I'm holding and I'm gonna let go. Good, shake it out a little bit. And then I'm using my foot to keep my toes from misbehaving there. And I'm gonna lift my arch up. So I'm using my arch. Good, good. And we'll try that one more time. Thank you, Bico Babysitter, for showing the arch here. I think you spotlighted a video for me. Thank you. All right, so now that we've done one leg, just gonna switch around and do the other. Take a moment, again, you could be doing this in a chair. Take a moment to really spread out your toes. They're not in a shoe right now. Root of the big toe is on the ground. Really feel how it contacts the ground there. And then the root of the little toe is also on the ground. All 5 toes are on the ground, okay? So if you have some hammer toe or something, take a moment and stretch them out so they can contact the floor. And then the heel in the back. Okay, and so that was just to show you to stretch your foot out. Now we're going to get to the action of this longitudinal arch, which is this arch right here. And it says if I'm making a home for a pea, I'm going to lift up the arch of my foot to create space. And now I'm letting it come down. Let's do that 2 more times. And then actually we're going to do it 3 more times. And hold, 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 hold. And let go. And again, lift and hold, 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 hold. And let go. I'm gonna do 1 more. So I got a little cramp, so I had to bring my toes back to keep them from cramping. And now I'm lifting, there's a little bit of an arch there. Again, you could have used your other foot to keep the toes from scrunching. or you can just look at them severely and make sure that they behave. Good, and let go. All right, so now go ahead and shake your legs out. If you're having a hard time sitting long sit, again, use the chair. All of that could be done in a chair, as well as this. I'm gonna have you stretch a little bit. I think we did this last week, but I'm not sure. You're gonna take your foot, and I want you to interdigitate your finger between each toe. So you're giving a little bit of a stretch to the interosseous muscles. Those are the muscles that go between the metatarsal bones. And I've put my fingers in between each toe, and there's a little bit of a stretch here because again, the foot is used to being in a shoe. So now as I flex and point the foot, I'm using my hand to do this. I'm getting a nice stretch to those muscles inside the foot. Back and forth, just a little bit. We're going to be doing some balance exercise after this, so it's good to wake the feet up. Some circles, one direction, that's about 5, and we're going to go back the other direction, just about 5. You know, working on your feet can help make you feel rejuvenated, kind of wake you up a little bit, and I'm hoping that I'm waking you up just in time to go home or to change from your work office at home to being really home, right? We're transitioning. That's why I have my home shirt on. Now we're going to switch to the other leg. You're going to interdigitate the fingers between each of the toes. Really work to get your finger down to where the toe and the foot come together. Sometimes when your feet are very tight, it's hard to get in there, but it's worth it. All right, so we're stretching the interosseous muscle. These long bones of the foot down here are the metatarsals, and we're stretching the muscles that live between those bones. And now we've got our fingers in there. I'm gonna just do some pushing the toes back and pulling the toes forward. Some stretch here. I hope you all had a nice Memorial Day. It's a little bit hard to keep track of how the weeks and the weekends come together, but I hope you had some time. And we'll do some circles. And that's about 5 one direction. You're going to switch and go the other direction. And that's about 5. Good. Go ahead and shake your feet out. Good, good. All right. There is another exercise that a lot of times therapists will give patients or people, don't have to be a patient to have a therapist, to strengthen the calf muscles. What we were just doing was strengthening the muscles that live inside the foot, but this exercise strengthens the muscles that live in the foot and then extend into the calf area. So this will help you with flip-flop season. You could do this in sitting. I'm just standing up briefly to show you. I'm putting my foot here. Let me do this one. It might be kind of hard to see a white foot on a white towel. I didn't think about that. But I'm putting my foot on the towel, and now I'm trying to bunch the towel up by grabbing the towel with my toes. And so notice I'm using my ankle as well. That's okay. We're just anything to move that towel is okay right now. And you're just trying to bunch that towel up. You could use a sweatshirt, you could use a napkin. Just don't use the napkin again. Good, good. And now we're gonna try. I realize that some of you probably didn't have a towel right in front of you, so I'm waiting just a little bit longer for people to go get another towel or sweatshirt or something. And we're just scrunching that towel up. I'm trying to get to the other end. Dish towel would work really well. It's a little bit lighter. Sometimes if the nap on the towel is too strong, it's hard to get it. Almost there in a situation where, there we go. One more scrunch, 2 more scrunches, there we go. All right. So I'm gonna try that from the other side. But you can see how this is working a similar area, but a little different. because we're using the muscles of the calf because we're moving the ankle. So let's go ahead and start at this end, okay? And I'm going to have you scrunch the towel. This is a good one for kids to do too, because they have good imaginations about a steamroller or a monster trying to eat the towel or something. You can move your foot if you need to create space. Working on getting that towel almost there. A little bit more. Now, some of you might notice that you have some foot cramping after all of this. That means that those feet are a little weak, and the effort that you're exerting is not, your body doesn't have the reserve to meet that demand. So it's actually a good thing that we're finding some weakness and we're trying to work on the strengthening of it. So I'm going to have you, if you can, come down onto your lower leg. I'm kind of hunching down, and this is getting me to bear weight through my foot so that I'm getting a stretch in the foot. If getting on the floor because hips and knees aren't going to cooperate, you can sit in a chair and just bring the foot, this is the active foot, behind you so that you're getting that same kind of stretch in the ankle and leg. So as I bring the leg behind me and bear some weight, I'm stretching out those muscles that I was just using to scrunch the towel. Basically, you want to think of what you can do to bring your toes back, and that will stretch the flexors that we were just using to grab the towel. So again, you're coming back, bringing the foot back. You can either have the foot semi-pointed, or you can have it flat. Let's try the other leg, bring it back. I'm going to show you here, bringing the foot back. And I can come up, so I have a little bit of a stretch, or down, up and down. Just trying to stretch out some of those toe flexors. Good. I'll do one more. And last one. Good. All right, so we've worked the foot, we've worked some muscles in the calf. And I want to teach you one more stretch to help with the calf area, because a lot of times this can get cramping, particularly when you start to wear your flip-flops, because to keep your flip-flop on your foot, you have to do this foot flexion, toe flexion, to keep it from flying off your foot, okay? So we're getting ready for that. So another one, you're going to lose my head for a moment. I'm standing at a wall, and I'm keeping my second toe perpendicular to the wall in front of me. So I'm not turning this foot out. It's important not to do that. Go ahead and turn your foot so your second toe is perpendicular to the wall. It may feel a little bit like you're turning your leg into internal rotation, but it's actually neutral there. So you don't have to push the wall. The wall is just there for balance. You see people along the side of the road, maybe stretching out on a telephone pole. You don't have to push it over. It's just for balance. So when I have my knee straight like this, that's stretching out my gastroc muscle. That's the top of the calf. It's on the outside. And I'm holding for about 5 breaths or so. That's a good Ashtangi, a length of time for a stretch. And now I'm going to shift, keep my foot in the same place, but I'm going to shift my hips back and keep my knee, I'm going to bend my knee now. So now my hips are back, my knee is bent, and I'm stretching lower down by the Achilles and the heel. This is a soleus stretch. The soleus muscle is underneath the calf muscle, and they work together to help with that pointing of the foot motion, plantar flexion. So I'm holding here for about 5 counts or so, 5 deep breaths rather. Good. And you can toggle back and forth between extending the knee out, so in straight knee, that's the gastroc, or bent knee, that's the soleus. So you can go back and forth there. All right, so I'm going to stretch this foot. And again, I don't need to hold on to anything. Going to come back. My second toe is perpendicular to the wall in front of me. And I'm coming down, just doing a nice stretch. Knees straight in the back. And I'm feeling a stretch in that calf muscle. I'm going to breathe, inhale, and exhale. Relax those toes, spread them out. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Last breath. Inhale and exhale. And now we're just going to sink back, keeping the foot in the same place, keeping my hips square in front of me. I'm stretching out the back of my leg. This is lower down by the heel. This is the soleus muscle. So I'm doing a little bit of a stretch here. I'm going to breathe and exhale. And again, breathe. Fresh air outside today. And exhale. Not quite as much of the pollen I'm allergic to. And inhale. And exhale. And again, it's nice to be able to switch back and forth between a bent knee and a straight knee for this. Good. All right, I'm just going to see if there are any questions here in the chat. Looks like we're good. Okay, so now that we've done all this work on our feet, let's practice some balancing. We're going to go from the from our tree pose where we would have been. I know you don't see my head, it's still there, don't worry. Where you would have been with your feet wide apart, meaning the toes are wide, the feet are underneath your ankle. I'm going to have you shift your weight by thinking of the glute you're going to stand on. So I'm going to shift my weight over onto this leg. I'm asking this buttock to work, so I'm engaging it, and I'm shifting over. I'm keeping my hips level, and I'm coming up onto one foot. And I'm holding. And now that you've exercised your foot may feel a little different because we did the interosseous stretch, we did the lumbrical grip, we did the gastroc and soleus stretch. Still think of that glute. This is going to help you with tree pose, big toe pose, all of that. Again, you can hold on to a wall or a chair if you've got it. Hips are level. And go ahead and put that foot down. Shake it out. You were doing some standing on it. Good. And I'm hoping that you feel that your feet are a little bit more awake, a little bit more supportive. Maybe you feel more action going on in them. So again, I'm planting my foot, little toe over to big toe. I'm trying to spread out my toes. And I'm asking this buttock muscle to contract. I'm making a muscle there. And I'm shifting my weight over my standing leg. And I'm just going to lift my opposite leg up, keeping my pelvis still and level. And we're just going to balance there. Feel that you're getting part of your balance energy with that connection to the floor. So by stretching out the foot and waking up those muscles, you have more receptors to work on your balance. Still keeping a nice strong leg here. Engage your abdominal muscles, come up nice and tall. And you should feel a little bit of work in your hip after all that. And come on back down and shake the leg out. Give it a little bit of a go. All right, so let's do a little bit more of a stretch here. And I'm going to have you stand on the first side. And now from here, I want you to be able to lift your foot up a little bit. See if I can get in here too. There we go. Now I'm there. You're going to stand on the first leg, lift that second leg up so you can hold on to the knee. All right. Now, if you needed to hold on to a chair, that's fine, but you're going to hold on to the knee. If you're able to, bring that knee really close to your chest. So you're getting a little bit of a stretch in the buttock while we're challenging this leg to maintain our balance. So you're holding there. This is the precursor to big toe pose. When you extend your leg fully and hold on to that toe. And we usually hold that for about 5 counts, 5 breaths. And then you take the leg and you bring it sideways. So that first stretch on the ground where I had you remembering 7th grade gym class, now that's where it comes in, because now I'm using my hip flexor, but I'm also stretching my inner thigh or the adductor muscle group out. Really standing on this nice strong foot and leg. And I'd hold this for about 5 deep breaths. You can hold on. 1 more breath. Now bring it back to the middle. And now I'm going to have you let go of it and maintain your balance. And technically we'd hold it for 5 deep breaths, but it is only Tuesday. We've still got the rest of the week, so we don't want to show off too much. So let's go ahead and bring that leg down. We won't tell the yogi police that we were doing that. Go ahead and shake this leg out. You might feel a little bit of work here in the glute. You might feel it in your calf. Maybe even feel it in your foot because we've woken those foot muscles up. So now we're going to stand on the opposite leg. Really start the pose by getting your foot lined up on the floor. Little toe, root of the big toe, heel. Pull up in your hip. Use the buttock muscle, engage the abdominals. Let's bring the opposite leg up, and you're going to lift towards your chest as high as you can, comfortably. If you get injured doing yoga, it's not fun at all. You really want to be able to balance that desire to do fancier poses with keeping everything healthy and working with your body. So we're going to do 2 more breaths. Now, while you're here, think of those shoulders coming down away from the ears. You can still have long collarbones. Good. And now let's bring the leg out to the side. You can put your hand here if it's not holding on to a chair. You can put it right here on the side of your waist. When you feel like you've forgotten about using your abdominal muscles, you can give yourself a cue by engaging those fingers, wake up those abdominals. Shoulders are down, chest is lifted. Good, good. See, now it's a twofer. We're balancing and strengthening our scapular stabilizer muscles. Those are the muscles between your shoulder blades. Now bring it on back into the middle. Hold a couple more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Big deep breath, inhale and exhale. Go ahead and let go. Try not to let the knee drop. Hold it there, strong leg. Keep breathing. 1 more breath and let it go. Good. Shake out that standing leg. Woo. All right. So that brings us to the end of our foot sequence today. I really hope you enjoyed it.